Oh, what's up, Kings? Doing some dry fire practice here and whatnot, and I thought, well, it'd be cool to do a video. It's a little different. We're going to try to conceptualize with it here. Won't be going to the range this time, but I think I can give you some good information to glean from. And that, with that being said, I get quite a bit of people in the comments, and even a commenter last night on one of our YouTube posts asking about kit and gear for the bigger dudes, like the more oversized, overweight dudes. And myself being one, or was one, whatnot, I thought, well, hey, here's a good chance to talk about kit. That's something I love to talk about almost as much as I love talking about guns. This is our M&P 40 that we just did a video on. You definitely want to check it out. I'll link it here or there. But out here, getting some dry fire practice in, as you should be. I'm not able to go to the range this weekend, so I thought, hey, I'll get in, 10, 15 minutes of dry fire practice. But either way, let's dive in and talk about kit for larger dudes. Now, before this turns you away because you're a smaller, smaller or medium or whatever dude, you're not quite a large dude, most of this kit will work for smaller people too. Like, yeah, for either one, there's no such thing as a true one size fits all. You're going to have to adapt things to your need. But this kit is, or these kits that I'm going to go over are going to be more in line for pretty much anybody that wants to fit into the Minuteman spectrum. So I'm going to go over two of the main kits, but I'm going to throw in a third bonus one. You're going to have to stick around to see what the bonus one is. And I think it might surprise you once I pull that bad boy out. So Ronan 74800 asks, what gear can I work with at 5'9", 330 pounds? I'm busting ass to be regulations capable, but money and gear options are a business. So that's what he asked, and he's asking, about gear essentially. So kit to carry. You guys know me, and I'm going to start with the LBV-88. It's been one of our more popular videos on the channel, and these probably, I'm going to go out and say, are still the cheapest deals around you can find in Mealteamsix. So right here we're going to start with the LBV-88. Now know that the rest of this stuff on the belt kit portion of the LBV-88, this is going to be more intermediary. You're going to have to source these items. There's a large variety of belt kit, and you'll notice some of the stuff is stripped out of this because we're getting ready to upgrade her. One of the bigger things about it here is it can carry 6 mags. Something that's pretty cool versus the other options I'm going to go over here with the LBV-88 is that you can run it as just a standardized harness without the belt system. I was trying to find my enhanced version just to kind of show, but you can run it without this belt and still have a pretty decent mag carrying, and then you have these 2 small grenade pouches that you can run compass or whatever, whatever you want. But you'll notice that these have a good bit of adjustment. Now when sourcing one, especially if you're a larger dude, when sourcing one, I would try to find one that has not been cut or modified. It's not a deal breaker, it's not a big deal, and a mod I'm going to do with this is I'm going to try out running shock cord here anyways, and that might be a good option for you as well. With that shock cord, you can still keep the rig tight to your body but have some breathability, some movement as you're breathing and whatnot. And you can always replace it with more paracord, but I would just say, like, try to find a good whole LBV-88, and try to start with like one that's whole, that's not cut, the straps aren't cut, but these have a very, very generous amount of adjustment. And I'm a 6 foot guy, just shy of 6'1", and so I like mine to ride a little lower for me, but you have so much varying adjustment with the harness system, it's unreal. So here's me wearing the LBV-88. As you can see, it's got these I'll call them sternum straps, but it has a ton of adjustability out. And especially if you're, like I said, if you're just running the upper kit, not the lower kit, you have a ton of adjustment if your body has considerable girth. That is something that I feel like could be missing with newer kit. The Chinesium stuff, you're probably not going to be able to go with it. It's typically designed for Asian fit. You know, the statistics and the average is Asian people are smaller than us American people. Even our smallest American people are typically the size of a large Asian. So there's that. Something cool, just a quick overview of the LBV-88. Like I said, it's 6 mags, it's 6 GI style mags. So you can easily fit, you know, 2 GI mags and the button will button. If you do mag pull mags, the button will not button. You still, if you get one that's got good Velcro, you're going to have the Velcro keeper, but just know that if you fall or something, you know, your mags could come out and you don't have that retention. For me, a lot of my kit is based on recon type stuff. So it's not like you're not exactly planning to fight. You're just planning to go out and see what's going on and observe. And, you know, you're going to be doing a lot of moving and climbing. You don't want your stuff falling and spilling out to the ground. I'll show you how it is with a rifle. And a sling. So on here, pretty good, pretty slick rig. You can get the belt kit. I'll annotate somewhere in this the video on the LBV-88, how mine's set up. Just know that I will be upgrading it, you know, modernizing a little bit. It's still going to be that, you know, the LBV-88 upper is not really going to change much, but I'm going to modernize the belt kit. But here we are. I think this would fit larger dudes pretty easily.
Here we have subscriber and viewer 10 Gauge showing off his Condor chest rig. Now note that he doesn't have any AR-15 setups because he's behind the enemy lines in the state of New York, and it's near impossible to own an AR-15 there. So he has resorted to shotguns, which is all fine and well. I mean, it's good to have a firearm, be armed. But he's showing off his Condor MCR6 Rapid Assault chest rig. And in his configuration, it has several onboard mag pouches, taco style mag pouches, 6 I believe it is, and it's a pretty good kit. I mean, usually runs around $40, so definitely something to check out and think about. I will note that he is 6'3" and 270 pounds, so he's not exactly a small dude either. He's one of us XXL dudes.
So here's our next one, dollar for dollar, probably going to be the best deal, and that's the U.S. Army TAPs. The USMC has a version in Coyote. If OCP is your thing, the Army one is going to be great. I mean, by the time you cover the MOLLE panels, you're not going to be able to see the pattern as much. Like I said, for the budget, if it's within your budget and for the money for this, it's going to be the best value. What's cool about this is if you want to grow into a plate carrier, these will work with the Swift Connects and whatnot on a plate carrier, and if you buy them unissued or with everything, they'll come with all the attachments to attach them to a plate carrier. The one thing that I'm going to say that's going to be a cost incurred is the harness system that comes with these. This is not that. This is a Krydex harness system. I'll drop a link for this harness system in the comments. It's relatively inexpensive, but it makes this thing just so much more usable. And so this, I'm doing a whole video on this. I've not done it yet. I've been fielding this for a while, playing around with setups. This may or may not be the final form. Don't know yet. I've not got out with it in this current configuration enough to know to be 100% for sure. So we'll go here. We'll just do a real quick, like, you have several MOLLE slots here on the panel that you can obviously add all this. You can kind of put whatever your flavor of pouches, whatever you need. Something I want to note though is this thing has 6 mag pouches on the panel itself. So right out of the box, it's usable. You're going to be able to carry mag pouches, and you can get MOLLE pouches pretty cheap. It has radio pouches at each end that are great. These outermost mag pouches right here that are in between, you know, this mag pouch, there's a mag pouch here, and then there's the radio pouch. These are hard to get mags in and out of, which is why I've put this triple on here that I'm trying out. So that's upgraded this to a 7-round capacity. These 4 in the center, a-okay to get the mags out, but these can kind of be a strain to pull them in and out. So that's just something that I want to let you know on there. And also, something cool about this is you have all three of these pockets right here, like a map pocket, little admin pouch. They're netted, you can see them, but you can keep cool things in here. Like I typically will stage my Balaclava in here, and it's easy to just go and get to, pull it out, throw it on when I need to. It's great to have a Balaclava in your kit. I'm going to place an inexpensive one in the comments as well, or I'm sorry, in the description below as well. But this, pound for pound, is one of the best, if not the best, chest rig you can get. It's built by an American company, and you're getting something that is worth a lot more than its price point, that the US government probably paid a lot more, and you get usability out of it. That is what's great. So here we are with our US Army TAP rig. As you can see on me, I wear an extra large right now. No longer XXL, dude. Quite frankly, when I started this endeavor, I was 270 pounds, and I worked down to now I'm 233 today, and slowly but surely working down, doing things. I'm going to talk more about that at the end. Something I would change out is this strap right here, T-Rex arms, and I want to say there's some Amazon companies too that will make an elastic one of these. I would prefer it to be elastic so I can tuck it closer to my body but have breathability. I typically leave this a little loose so it's not digging into me. Cool upsides to a chest rig and something similar to this is you can run a pack. Like you can run a pack and your back is open, so you can run a pack and not have hot spots all on your back. With a Minuteman kit, you're going to want a good pack. You're going to want at least a good 3-day assault pack that has enough provisions. And we're going to do a whole Minuteman philosophy video. It's coming. It just takes you time to work on this stuff. But we're going to talk about that. But your Minuteman kit, you need to have it consist of bare minimum 3 days worth of sustainment for you to be livable and have provisions. And we'll go over what that looks like in a later video. The cool thing here about our TAPS rig is it was designed to be worn over body armor. So if you're a larger dude, like even larger than me, you know, if you're in the 300s, this is still going to fit you and cover you. And whenever you upgrade this harness, it gets the weight distribution just so nice. Like the weight distribution here versus the trash harness that it had, like it has like a Y harness that comes down and runs over. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So doing this gets the weight distribution nice. Like with the old harness, when you have it loaded out like this, it tends to want to pull. And as you can see, it's even kind of loose on me. So if I'm moving around and running, it may jostle. I'm probably going to have to readjust this thing more. I've obviously been playing with it, and the times you've seen it, it's kind of changed around here and there. But I'm going to get out and do some more testing on it to field it. But it's definitely like, it's an A-okay. It's a good rig to go. Now, your mileage is going to vary about what you're going to want to run through here. That's the biggest thing. I'm not going to dive as hard into that now. If you're new here or whatever, subscribe, and I will be going over this complete rig once I get it dialed into where I want it to be. But yeah, this is the TAPS rig by the U.S. Army. USMC has one. Designed to be worn in conjunction with body armor. Has the swift clips here, so that's what makes this rig bigger and perfect for you bigger guys out there. And it's just a good kit. Like I said, the cons to this are the mag pouches here on the outer part, which is why I'm fielding this taco in the front here. But 7 mags right here is nice, and they're all in a compact area. Let me grab my rifle. Here we are, rifle slung. And this is my major concern that I'm going to train and see with the taco here, is having it out. It kind of pushes the rifle out. I may go a different way, but that's neither here nor there. That's not a knock on the rig. That's a knock on my choice here. But here it is. Got her gun. We're operating. Can pull mags from the front pouches here, from the back pouches. Run. Whatever we got to do. But like I said, your mileage is going to vary with how you kit it out, but it's perfect place to start. Like, it is a perfect place to start. So with this one coming to a close, are you ready for the bonus piece here? And I bet you're not going to expect it, but let's go break it out and show you. All right, so anybody that's been on the channel long enough knows that I'm a low-key simp for Blackhawk gear. Call it being a kid in the 90s and looking at their catalog and going through all their cool stuff. So this is one of their assault vests, Omega assault vest, whatever you want to call it. They can be found pretty cheap on the secondhand market. New, they might set you back. They're off and on again out there. They're not like just completely produced all the time, except for a few styles. I'll talk about that shortly, but let's check this out real quick. We've got a triple mag pouch that holds 2 mags each, and as you can see, that is Magpul mags in there. So 6 rounds of mag, or 6 mags on kit, 6 30 rounders, and we got a little admin pouch right here. You could do like a shotgun STAC card, whatever, have shot shells. I run an identifier patch here. You have a triple pistol mag pouch. This is great to run like a multi-tool or something like that in, or even right here just to have a multi-tool with your kit. But we have our Glock 21 in here, fits in the holster. So having a holster on body like this right here, if you can find these sub $100, you're winning. They're really well built. Like I said, you can carry up to 4 pistol mags. This carries a substantial loadout. Also, I want to note that in here you have 2 very generous admin pouches that zipper. So like I'll run a Balaclava in here or whatever, stage it up in here, my maps, and you also have one on the opposite side, same size. The only downside is it's netted and you can see through it, so you want to be conscious of the colors that you're putting in here because it may make you stand out. You may want to just keep them wrapped up in something else. I also want to note that this thing has significant adjustment and really durable adjustment. We're going to go over more here in a second, but when I got this thing, it was set up for a quite large fellow, a fellow that is very much so larger than me. You're going to notice that the setups all have numbers, and I think you can find them on Blackhawk's website. I'm not 100% sure, but see how the adjustments are? This is designed to be worn in conjunction with like a slick plate carrier. And again, I'm working on doing a video on this, but as you can see, I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of cross draw, but having a pistol on kit is a game changer, especially for a one and done. Like if you're going to be in a vehicle role, security role, and more about that in a second, this is going to be an optimum situation for you. Like having a vest like this that you can throw on, you're going to get great weight distribution. And with the addition of MOLLE panels here in the back, as you can see, it has a hydration bladder pouch that you can add to it. You can definitely get these Mealteamsix. I lucked out on this one. It's actually got their radio pouch here. So you can kind of set up MOLLE pouches, and if you're like in a security role, you could have a back panel or whatever for you and your team. Call it what you will. You have adjustments here on the side, very reminiscent of like a modernized LBV. So you have these adjustments. As you can see here, I've not cut these because these vests are getting harder to find. I'm not going to say they're not out there, but you have to be diligent and watch for them. But as you can see, they have adjustment here to go out quite further for girthier fellows. And like I said, they're not as prominent as they used to be. They're definitely out there on the secondhand market like eBay. There's companies that are starting to make knockoffs of these. Whether they're good or not, I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to go out and buy one. Maybe as the channel progresses. I've got to do a video on this one. I've got to get the TAPS video finished, and then we're doing a full video on this one. This thing is pretty awesome. It's also designed to be worn in conjunction with like a slick plate carrier. What's cool is it has a zip up function. You can unzip it, but you also have buckles. So if you are a larger dude, or if you just want it kind of open like an LBV rig, you have these little snaps, sternum straps, like a backpack would have, that can hold it open. So you can, have some air coming through, be breathable, just have everything not quite as, compact in front of you. Maybe a gripe about this is the mags being on this side, and if you're a different hand, like if you're left-handed, like I'm a right-handed shooter, but I'm left-handed to everything else. But if you're different-handed, you're going to have to search to find that. A lot of times left-hand stuff you can find pretty cheap out there. You can also get them if you don't want this pistol situation. You can get them. I've seen them where they have a total of 12 rounds. That's pretty daggone substantial. They have way different configurations of these things. They've made pretty much whatever flavor, but they're out there. And this one is in great quality. I couldn't believe it when I got it and the price I got it for. I paid right at like $60 shipped for this. And that's an outstanding deal because right out of the box, you can use it. It also has belt loops. So if you want to run like a war belt, something like that, you can run that belt in conjunction with the vest. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. And this is not just for large, you know, overweight people, obese people, whatever you want to say. Like, I want as many men as we can get into this mindset. And if you're one of those dudes that is a larger fellow, I recommend you checking out my boy Fatty Westside's YouTube channel. I'll throw in a link to his channel somewhere in here. But dude finds kit, he buys kit. If it doesn't work for him, he rejigs, sews it, does whatever he needs to do. He makes his own kits that work for him and his body size. But one of the big things, like him and I and several other guys are in a group talking about our weight loss and things like that. Like I'll discuss things that work for me, ask them for tips and tricks. And I know a lot of you guys that are larger cringe when I say things like that. You know, Grantham gets out there and says, you know, if you're fat, you're going to die. I'm not going to get here and say that. I'm going to say to be able to go out and do things kind of like what I'm doing here on the channel, upcoming videos and stuff, like to do a long range recon, you know, to do these mountain rucks like I do, being overweight. And I say this, like, I love all of you out there. So I do not want you to take offense to this. I'm saying this as a brother who has been there, who has been overweight. I have dropped 50 pounds, like 50 pounds in a year. I started this, I was just over 270 pounds. And like I said, I'm 233 pounds now. And the ability this weight drop has given me, like, especially when I'm rucking and doing things uphill because I live in the mountains of Appalachia, has helped me tremendously. Doing all kind of things, buying gear that fits better now, being able to find Milsurp that's not an extra large and just obscure sizes that, yeah, it's out there, but you're limited in patterns. Like these are some used surplus, you know, Army enhanced combat pants by Cry, and they're in a large and they fit me. They're actually a little loose on me now. And being able to find and buy stuff like that, you know, it's a luxury, but it's nice to be able to do that. And let me get into the harsh reality of things. Like Fatty has done some excellent Minuteman philosophy videos, so much so that they're actually in a playlist on this channel that you can go and view. Like he has worked very hard on this stuff and coming up with it. And now one of my buckles is flipped around. Sorry, ADD. He has done a great job on that. If you're in some kind of mag, if you're a larger person, you're going to have a role. So don't think that you're useless. Like you should always be working on your skill. You should always be working hard to develop skills. And that's, I keep throwing out, I'm going to do. I know, I'm sorry, but there's a big part of the Minuteman philosophy thing that I'm going to talk about in there. And it's having skills that will matter. And you need to always be honing those skills. But number one, like, just as much as you're out here practicing your dry fire with your firearm, you need to be out here doing things and moving your body. And I say this coming from the other way, like the Botkin size fellows, these small, tiny little dudes that are out there that are maybe 150, 160 pounds and 6 foot soaking wet. They're just as much as at a disadvantage because doing stuff like in the mountains here, you're going to need muscle mass on you. You're going to need the ability to carry weight. And so if you're a 150 pound dude, 30 pounds is a lot to you. 40 pounds is a lot to you. If you're moving an op, like if you're in a group and you're carrying a lot of stuff in your fair share, it may not be unheard of for you to be toting 70 to 80 pounds up a mountainside. And you need to be able to do that. And if you're 330 pounds, like Ronan said, or if you're 150 pounds, that's going to have a restriction on you. It's going to be very hard and you're going to be dying doing that. So we all need to exercise. Like we need to be doing that. We need to be working our way to it. So if you're new to it, Randall at Grunt Proof, he did a video. It's one of his better performing videos he's done recently. And that's just like for a lot of dudes, he used to be a personal trainer. So the dude knows what he's talking about. He was saying a lot of guys, he would just start them off like walking 30 minutes a day. So, and that's what everybody should be doing. Everybody should be getting somewhere between 8, 6,500 to 10,000 steps a day. If you're already getting that much, you should be trying to see how much more you can pack on that. But, you know, getting something that roughly translates to 30 minutes sustained walking time a day. And he would talk about how much weight guys would lose, but that lets them know they're in the mindset to continue on, that they actually want to do this, because he wanted to make a difference in their life as a personal trainer. And that's the thing. I can sit up here and tell you to do this, to get fit and do that, or you're going to die. But it comes from in here. As somebody having done it, as somebody that is on the path now, because I still have a little ways to go, but somebody that, you know, like I have muscle mass on me. I bench well over 3 plates. You know, Grantham likes to brag about that. And having strength as a man gives you a type of confidence I cannot explain to anybody else. It's just those that know get it. And the thing is if you're coming from this being an overweight or obese person, you're going to have muscle there. You're going to be one up these 150-pound dudes that get out there and preach all this crap, but they don't look like they go and train it. And they got a 15-pound fucking rifle that they're going to hunt through the mountains. That's a video that's actually in queue to come out really soon. But that's the biggest thing here, is you do need to confront the elephant in the room, that the stuff we eat, it does not help us. And if you want tips and tricks on that, on like losing the weight, dropping down, the biggest thing I can tell you is like Randall did, get out there and get the moving, get the walking, get exercise in. You're going to start dropping weight pretty quickly. Another big thing is getting some kind of calorie tracker app and start tracking what you eat in a day. Like spend a week eating like you normally would. Don't even worry about cutting back, and track what you eat and start incrementally cutting back. You don't want to lose 40, 50 pounds like in a month. That it's not sustainable. You go on a diet, and then whenever you come off of it, you binge. I'm saying this as somebody who's been there, who's done just about every fad diet that's been around the past 10 years. I've done a lot of things. I've been at different varying weights and whatnot. I've been various strengths and whatnot. I say this coming from knowledge and having been there and experience. The easiest way, and I would beat my head against the wall before I would do this, but this is the way to do it. The most foolproof way is understanding that it's going to take time. It's going to take you time to get there. The wind is crazy here. We got some storms coming in. It's going to take you time to get there. So understanding that time, it's going to take a mindset and lifestyle change. You know, like not to binge eat, not eat as much, and be conscious of what you eat. You need to track what you're already putting in and start stepping back 500 calories. So look at that. Just say, I'm going to cut 500 calories a day out. And so cut 500 calories off your daily intake, but up your protein while you're doing that. So take away some of the junk food, up it with protein. So throw a little more meat in there. But meat's expensive. Yeah, I know it's expensive, but also the junk food is expensive. So when you cut it out, you can take those dollars and put it with the protein money. And then as you're doing this, after about a month or two of walking, you will probably drop 10 to 15 to 20 pounds, depending on how you changed your diet around. Get a gym membership, start getting stronger and putting muscle on. Your life will change in such a great positive way. You have no idea. But making this mental adjustment and changing your lifestyle and doing better for you, it's going to help you live longer, which is what we all want. That's why we're in this sphere. So we want to live longer. But with that, these are the kits that I'm talking about. I hope you like them. They're pretty awesome, very affordable. I'm not going to be doing like kits that are $500 here or anything crazy. You can find them and they're of quality. So with that, I say resistance to tyranny is obedience to God.